Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these hands tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got my why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters. Always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams. They've got walis. They've got their guardians. And it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. This is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete. Yeah.
No lies detected there, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected at all from what my man just said. It's not your business as a grown man to be always in women's business, critiquing them, what they do, how they do, and why they do. That is not your business as a grown man. But as we see, and as we gonna see, folks, some of these people, some of these content creators, as they call themselves, they believe it is their business to always critique women, what they do, how they do, and why they do. And when you tell them it's none of their business, they will, dare I say, have a conniption fit about why it is. You have content creators that have strategically put names on black women's head. BT1000s, Strags. They'll tell you how much they don't need women, but in their platforms, they're either talking about women or featuring women. But before we get into our feature presentation of tonight of the Angry Man, y'all saw what we gonna talk about. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Welcome to the Chop Shop, ladies and gentlemen, of your nighttime, right time DJ, DJ Music. And as always, folks, this is just my opinion. I am entitled to my opinion of what you post on the YouTube streets. Mugs, pugs, thugs, and loose niggas. That's what this roundup is going to be all about. No color intended. If you fall into the category of one of these thugs, pugs, or loose niggas, then I'm talking about you. That's just bottom line to this. And unfortunately, as I've seen in the last couple of days around the YouTube streets, folks have been, dare I use the word, there has been a resurgence of the angry man again. Now that angry man and Israel Mills, as they call them, Izzy Bands now, they're fighting amongst each other again. And Israel Mills, Bomb Charity, played a particular stream that was from about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I told you that angry man is no more than a grifter. You told us up and down that you didn't know the angry man, that your introduction from the YouTube streets did not come from angry man. Well, let me ask you something, Izzy Bands. How many times has your so-called partner of 30 years shit on you? And this goes to all you other content creators that think angry man is going to turn out to be a good fella for you. The list is long of the folks that angry man has beef with. So don't think that you won't be the next victim of his ire one day when he decides that he has nothing else that he can get from you or gain from you. Heaven forbid that you should gain some popularity in the face of angry man. First he'll say it's because of him. And then once you show them that it's not because of him, he will somehow or the other create some kind of beef with you to where he can now hold stream after stream after stream, like he did Kevin Samuels, like he did Obsidian, like he did O'Shea Duke Jackson, like he did Grandmaster Troll, like he did BGS. The list goes on, like he did Destiny. The list goes on of the folks that Angry Man has had beef with over the years. Angry Man calls himself a black man, but he uses the moniker of Beano Nation. And if I understand, that means black in name only. So that means you own no claim to black culture other than the fact when somebody sees you that they recognize you as a black man. Beano Nation and folks as dark as me is run around using that moniker. But we're going to talk about the angry man a little bit later on. What I want to get to first, ladies and gentlemen, I follow this gentleman called Fawcett Media, and he does a lot of things on Corey Holcomb. And if you don't know who Corey Holcomb is, he's a comedian. He runs the 5150 podcast, which is pretty popular in the black YouTube community, so to speak. It's a pretty popular show. So let's go with that, and I'll tell you why I'm using this Corey Holcomb film here. Fawcett Media, big shout out to you. Make sure like, share, and subscribe to Fawcett Media, folks, if you're inclined to. I'll put his link down in the description so you can go over and check out his channel and see what my man is all about, and you can make your decision of whether you want to like, share, and subscribe his media, his brand. It's up to you. But anyway, let's continue.
Corey Holcomb absolutely goes in on comedy hype once again. Well, let's just talk about stuff with bad publicity. I want to change it up and go to bad publicity. Okay. In this world, people come at you all kind of ways with bad publicity. Mm-hmm. People threaten you and lie on you.
Is that bad publicity, Corey Holcomb, or in the YouTube streets, is it just bad intentions? Because listen, folks, I'm not trying to put myself on the level of a Corey Holcomb. I'm not trying to put myself on any other level just to say that. Whatever you do, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be some people that for some reason or the other going to throw sticks at you when you're trying to do something different from them, when you're not on the same team with them, as they like to call themselves, trolls. Well, this particular part of this stream is for the trolls out there, ladies and gentlemen, especially those in particular. And like I told you, matter of fact, let me go ahead and give you some music with this. You may have won the battle in the war when it came to doing what you tried to do to me. But as I told you, this is South Carolina. And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, and it may even mean that I have to spend some money for you to be punished for what you did. But just know it's coming, and one day you will reap the benefits of what you tried to do to me. And this is why I found this Corey Holcomb particular stream. Shout out to Corey Holcomb and Fawcett Media. But this is universal. It's not only on the level of a Corey Holcomb, but it's at the level right here to the lowly content creator that may have almost 1,300 subs. You violated me by going somewhere, putting my name out somewhere. How do I know now that when you pull up in my driveway, it's not somebody for nefarious reasons, or it's not somebody who's coming to do me or my family some harm because you disagreed with something I said on a YouTube platform, or you disagreed with who I hang out with on a YouTube platform? It's not that deep. But let Corey tell you just how deep it goes.
And do all kinds of things as they have been given the power of the internet. So what I'm saying to people who are like me, a Marvin Sapp, or anybody who has gained some fame on the internet or in the world, you better be standing on 10 toes, boy. Because they coming for yours. They are coming for yours. They're mad you are getting it. This is what people do. They slander you, they gossip, they lie, because they can't rest when they see you get it. It still amazes me. I'm Corey Holcomb, and there's so many people who are actually not sleeping because I got something to do.
Tell me about it.
I got something to do.
There are people that are not sleeping. Me as DJ Music, y'all lost sleep. You folks were over there holding stream after stream about me and another particular person at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But you call yourself married men and women. You say that you're about the community, you're about the uplifting of young black men, but yet here you are on a stream of 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to decide how you can go and find some bad information about somebody just to come back and put it on a YouTube platform. All because someone disagreed with you. You lost sleep. I'm never going to speak on this again, but I feel I had to get it off my chest. And Corey Holcomb summed it up perfectly for me. No matter the level of success you achieve, whether it be in the YouTube streets or anywhere else, folks, you always gonna have folks that's gonna come try and tear you down, other than the fact that they can. Think about this. If this was 30, 40 years ago, how many of us would be in the company of each other? Probably none of us. I wouldn't know, and I'll use a prime example. I wouldn't know Charlotte Willie if it not been for the internet. I wouldn't know the folks that's down in the lounge that'll listen to this later on if it not been for the internet. Y'all wouldn't know me. But you got some folks, because of the power of the internet, no matter how much you try to protect yourself and your family away from trolls, they will figure out a way to dig into your past. Hopefully, they can find something that's so negative about you, they can hold stream after stream about it. Or they find a picture of you somewhere, or they find this about you, or they find this about your family, and then they think it's a topic for discussion for them and the rest of their trolls. This is what Corey's talking about on the bigger scale between him and Comedy Hype News. Now, he says something about Comedy Hype News I don't necessarily agree with, but that's Corey Holcomb. That's who he is. But let's continue.
This week, we them ones tour in LA, thank God. I get to perform in LA. Then we go to Oakland the next day. Then next week, I got something to do. Then the week after that, I got something to do. Then the week after that, it don't stop. I'm out here doing things.
So much for all those people that were talking about Corey doesn't have nothing going on in his career, like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, he was talking about how irrelevant he was and, oh, he ain't working. But Corey works all the time. That's the thing I didn't understand.
You see.
Like the guy, Falset Media just said, you know, Corey Holcomb is supposed to be so irrelevant. And a lot of times you hear that as part of the attack plan for these so-called trolls. They'll tell you how irrelevant you are, but yet they're up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning talking about you. That is how irrelevant you are to them, that they will hold streams about you instead of taking care of their husband or taking care of their children or preparing for the next day at work. They're holding streams talking about you and how they can disparage your name. That's a common theme amongst deeds. I can't say for the white sector because I don't hang out in the white sector, but that's a common theme, isn't it, DJ Torch? Go ask DJ Torch what happened to his channel after the trolls came over there. Whatever I say about BGS or whatever I say about Angry Man is in direct contrast to what they said. If they say something that I find that I disagree with, I have the right to speak on it without fear of somebody posting my address or a picture of where I live because you disagree with me. And then make jokes about it.
The misinformation about me on the internet. Sometimes I look at it, I say, wow, they coming for me. Yeah. They want to, it's a rumor out there now that questions my talent.
Oh, you talking about
Crazy.
That people? Hey,
No, that's what it was saying. Because I want to make sure somebody else heard it.
yeah, they said people was walking out that show. I was laughing.
Okay, let me speak on that part because that's another thing that you so-called internet trolls do. You quick to question somebody else's talent. So let me speak on my talent for a quick, brief second. I don't need any of you trolls to tell me what I'm good at. I would not be the owner of an internet radio station. I would not be interviewing prominent people in the music industry if I was not good at what I was doing. I would not be posting video. I would not spend hour upon hour putting together playlists for the enjoyment of other people. So much so that this dumb troll literally said in a stream that he is a fake DJ, that all he does is play other folks' music. What the fuck does a DJ do other than play other folks' music? But she thought that was so profound when they said it. That was so profound that he's not a very good DJ because all he does is spin other people's music. There's no originality in that. Oh no? Go ask the last person that had a wedding without music how it turned out. Go ask the last person that had a Sweet 16 party that had no music. Go ask them if the DJ was good or not. Go ask them if the DJ made the party. Go ask them at the last bar mitzvah or the last coming home from jail party. If the DJ wasn't hype, the party wasn't shit. I've been doing this for over 20 some odd years. Long before there was MP3s to where if you showed up to a party with one crate, you automatically became suspect. Oh shit, y'all. He ain't got no damn music. He only got one crate. Longevity. That's what Corey's about to talk about. Come on in, Corey.
Like they don't.
They don't know how comedy works.
Let me tell you something. I ain't said this yet.
I didn't hear that.
Well, we did a show in Norfolk, Virginia. I don't work all the dates of the tour. Mm-hmm. So, my brother, Carlos closes it out a lot of times. Sometimes Carlos closes it out. Sometimes Duval closes it out. But on this particular day, I didn't work the night before.
Right.
So the brother Mike Epps, you know, they going through the show. And he announced Carlos as the headliner because it was an honest mistake. I honestly believe it.
For sure, yeah.
Y'all headliner Carlos Miller. I was standing right by the promoter, and the promoter was like, no, Corey last this time. So bottom line, after Carlos got off, people started walking out.
Right.
As they do on marathon shows a lot anyway.
Right.
You got to think about it. They've been there for a long time. It's probably about 5 or 6 comedians on that show at a time. This the last one. All right, we out of here. We're not expecting Corey Holcomb after that.
And that is exactly it. What Corey Holcomb just said and what Fawcett Media just said. That is absolutely, if you have been around the comedy circuit, you know when they say the headline is about to come on, that's usually the end of the show. And if you've been to a comedy show, they serve spirits there. So sometime you start seeing people walk out to go get the car, especially if it's cold or if they might have parked a distance so they can get the hell on about their business after the comedy show is over if they haven't valet parked their car. But Comedy Hype News chose to post this as a ding on Corey. And he had every right to call them out. And this is what he's explaining. Not that you need that explanation, not that I needed to give the explanation of how prolific I am at this DJ business. But sometimes, like Kendrick Lamar said, you gotta pop out and show them.
Yeah, that's a logical explanation, but for some reason, people ran with the story. They were so happy. They were foaming at the mouth to say that some audience walked out on Corey. When have you ever heard of audience just walking out on Corey and he wasn't happy about it on top of it? Because what did Patrice O'Neal say? If I'm bombing, I'm taking y'all all to bomb with me. Like, literally, there are comedians that take pride in walking an audience out of there that is sensitive or doesn't understand what comedy is. So even if that was the case, it just sounds stupid for Comedy Hype or anybody else to put out a story talking about, oh, you see what happened to Corey? Oh, Corey done walked all his fans off. Corey was so bad, all the people walked out of... Come on.
And again, he's absolutely right. Now, if you can go back through the history of Corey Holcomb and his comedy career, you have never heard, from Comic View to the Jerry Springer Show, you have never heard of anyone walking out of a Corey Holcomb comedy show. Not until Comedy Hype News posted it that way. But again, folks, a little insight to what Corey's going to talk about. When you are recording someone's show on a cell phone and you upload that image, you are breaking the law. You are in strict copyright infringement. That is that man's intellectual and physical property. And you have no rights to it. So Corey Holcomb was right by striking anyone that he wanted to of using that footage. Whether you won the strike or not, that's up to the powers that be. But if I was Corey Holcomb, I would have done the same thing. No, you're not going to talk shit about me and use my footage on top of that. You didn't get it from me.
People started walking out.
Right.
As they do on marathon shows a lot anyway.
Right.
But I'm not making no excuses for me. If, let's say I suck, which is almost impossible in my opinion, but let's just say I suck. If you have a bad night, you have a bad night. But if I'm lying, I hope God strike me down right now. That's what happened. But I ain't went around saying that because I don't make excuses. Because let me tell you something. When you go last on a show like that, you're not going to get the crowd in their prime. But it don't matter when I get the crowd. I'm really that who I say I am. I'm standing 10 toes down in this game, letting you know I am that who I say I am. They had some girl on there.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
Now, I want you folks to listen to what Corey is about to say. And this is what I'm trying to describe to all you folks that go out there doxing folks. Understand something. There's consequences and repercussions behind what you do. Slander, although in some cases it's hard to prove, but a lot of cases it's very easy to prove. In the state of South Carolina, it does not take very much to prove that you were trying to be slanderous by doing what you did. Like I said, if I have to pay a little money to prove my point, that's what I'll do. But my point will be proven.
Saying he was very misogynistic. Listen, I'm worse than misogynistic. I'm honest.
A happy ending.
Right.
Hey, that's a bar right there.
Yes, indeed it is. And that goes both ways. That's for men and women. I'm worse than misogynistic. I'm truthful. And that's the part that a lot of you folks don't get. The truth needs no alibi. You can slice it, dice it, but it's still going to lay down or stand up as the truth. You're going to hear this guy, Angry Man, a little bit later on tell you how great he is, how thoughtful he is, how creative he is. But I'm going to talk to you in direct correlation that he is not the person that he says he is. And when someone calls that out, all of a sudden you have a problem. Again, folks, I'll ask you this. You don't have to answer to me. Ask this question to yourself. If you came across a stream and you heard a grown man on that particular stream saying, in order for you to catch a single woman, the first thing you got to do is befriend or become a friend of the child involved. That way, the mother will be beholden to you because you have established a relationship with the child. And when I said that's kind of weird and offsetting to me, because I don't know what mama in their right mind would allow a child to become friends with somebody that they don't know whether they're going to date or not. That's kind of, dare I use the word, pedalicious. But niggas got in their feelings behind that. Threatened me. They would go come beat me up if I didn't retract that statement. Came into my chat room, pretended to be someone that they weren't. Changed their whole name just to prove a point that you can't talk about my friend like that. I'm going to embarrass you because my friend said something 9-10 years ago and you just now bring it back to the surface. You better apologize or I'm going to catch a flight and beat your ass. Or I'm going to dox you. Or I'm going to tell everybody at one point in time that you owed some back child support. You don't hear me talk about marriage. You don't hear me talk about child support because number one, I don't have anything to offer on that subject, good or bad. It's there for a reason. I can't tell you what it is to be of a successful marriage, so I don't speak on it. I can't tell you what it is not to be a product of the child support system, so I don't speak on those who have a different outlook on it from what I do. It's not like I haven't spoke on it before. My answer when anyone asked me that shit, when I was on it, guess what I did? Went and found me another fucking job. I didn't sit and hold a stream about the ills of women that put you on child support.
I'm worse than misogynistic.
I'm truthful.
Honest. Is honesty what they're really responding to? A lot of times they had the same problem with Kevin Samuels. You remember? Yeah. The truth actually is what they're calling misogyny. What is misogynistic? Brilliant. Brilliant concept.
I'm worse than misogynistic. I'm honest.
A happy ending.
Right.
We don't
I'm
know
not
regular
no
misogyny.
who finna come up here and change up who I am because a got upset.
Should have locked the doors, Corey.
Close the doors.
Got the Marvin Sapp.
Next time y'all try to leave, I would say close the door. But no, that's what happened for real.
Okay.
I swear that's what happened for real. And it ain't, I wouldn't lie on my name because I'm gonna rip too many shows. So, but let's just say for to make them people happy, somebody was doing that because I wasn't. Okay. Okay.
Big deal.
I'm the shit almost every time I go on stage.
Right.
I can't afford to lie about who I am. That's how I have the hardest part of comedy, the hardest part of singing, the hardest part of acting. You know what it's called? Staying power.
Talk about it.
If you can get 10 years out this game eating good, you beat the system.
Exactly.
Homie, I've been going for a while.
Homie, I've been going at this DJ game for a while. There's not too many songs, whether it be R&B, whether it be country, whether it be rock, that I don't know. And not saying that that I know every song out there. There's not too much artists that I don't know about, that I can't speak on fluently. Whether it be an artist from the 1960s or a contemporary artist of today. Know why? Because I do my homework. Somebody actually came on my platform and said, he don't do no research. Well, you explained to me why I have a library of over 40,000 songs. Why I have CDs. Why do I have 45s and 78s and 33s? They call them albums. If I'm not that guy when it comes to music. For those of you that was in the military that know anything about Iwakuni, Japan, there was a place out there that they had quantum hunts full of nothing about reel-to-reels and music by the score. Instead of hanging out at the E Club getting drunk off my ass, I was in there back in the 80s creating what you folks now call mixtapes. But you had some folks who come over here and tell me that my staying power in this business, that right now I have a wedding or 2 or 3, what is that? 3 weddings lined up just from word of mouth because of weddings that I did last year. Longevity. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Come on, Corey.
And you're not gonna be able to question my talent. It's some dude, it's a gossip page. It's called Homosexual.
Uh-oh, we can't allow that. So I'm gonna skip on because, see, this is the part that I'm talking about here. You can critique somebody without calling them names. You really can't. You can critique somebody without calling their sexuality into play. But this is Corey Holcomb. So if you go after Corey Holcomb that way, you know what he's about. You know he's going to question you like this. So I don't understand this comedy hype news dude that don't expect Corey Holcomb to lower the boom on him. Let's move on here a little bit. Let me see what else we can find before we move on to the angry man.
In the comments on this channel, she is all over the place, man. It seemed like every week there's something else coming up about Corey. There's supposed to be this damning thing. And then you listen to his explanation and you're like, no, that's fairly reasonable. Corey was right in this situation. I'm assuming when you have a vendetta against someone, you can't allow, this would be a message to John. If you have a vendetta against someone, you can't allow your personal feelings to get in the way of the business of running comedy hype. You understand? Like, it's weird to just turn down the whole network that you've even evolved from just doing comedy news and then talk about your personal issue with Corey Holcomb or push a story forward with Corey Holcomb just because it's negative.
And I agree with you on that with my man. I don't think any disagreement that you have with someone, especially when you're in this type business, if it is personal, take it behind the scenes. And that goes on the same level of us here as YouTube content creators. Yeah, you might rub someone the wrong way. Yeah, you might be in competition with someone that you might not know that you're in competition with. But that's the beauty of the internet. It is what it is. Not everything that Angry Man says, and I believe it, I'm going to say it, is wrong. Not everything that Kevin Samuel said is wrong. Not everything that BGS says is wrong, but these guys believe that they are above reproach, that no one can tell them that they are wrong in a lot of cases. They will slide down a double-edged razor into a pool of alcohol before they say they were wrong about something. Let's see what else you got here, Corey.
Homosexual hype. This is what I want to ask you.
No. Let me move on from that. I know what that question gonna be.
You're not asking the question thoroughly.
Well, how should I ask it, D? Because you
Don't
making me
ask.
laugh.
Have you been penetrated?
Don't ask it. Don't ask it that way. No, don't ask it that way.
Reason is kind of shameful because he's been doing it longer than me, probably.
Okay.
He's an opener. I don't lie on these people. But
No.
am I lying on you, homosexual?
No, he's talking about Donnell Rawlins. And a lot of people will say that Donnell Rawlins is not funny. And actually, yes, he is. But as Corey Holcomb said, and that's not the label that he put on him. That's the label that the industry, that the comedy industry put on Donnell Rawlins, that he is an opener. You're not going to get Dave Chappelle as an opener. You're going to get Dave Chappelle as a headliner. You're not going to get Monique as an opener. You're going to get Monique as a headliner. You're not going to get Steve Harvey as an opener. You're going to get Steve Harvey as a headliner. You're not going to get Corey Holcomb as an opener. You're going to get him as a headliner. Whether you like that Cat Williams, you're not going to get him as an opener unless he chooses to. And usually, as what they call it, a guest appearance, that he might just pop up out the crowd. And that's with all of them. They might just pop up somewhere. And they'll say, oh shit, in the audience we got Cat Williams, or so-and-so. Works both ways, not only in the comedian industry, also in the music industry. Let me see what else. I hope you don't use that word again.
Hype? Have you been
No. Let me move on from that.
for naked niggas? Do you?
No. I don't think he has too much.
I thought it was weird too, because homeboy, like immediately after the show in North Carolina, Comedy Hype puts up a story which kind of spins it that Corey was walking the audience. Corey explains here what happened in that situation, as I've been telling people. But most comedians of Corey's status and experience, they don't care if an audience walks out on them. That just means they offended those people, And you can have a bad night as a comedian. It's like, it's not an exact science. You're not always going to kill every night. But it was so many people in the comments, and then after this story came out, I saw the flood of people come over from Comedy Hype talking about, oh, you gonna talk about your boy? So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. But Corey took time to now address Comedy Hype's addressing of the issue. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I don't know why people engage in this with a full-on comedian. Like, you're not ready. There's several groups of people you shouldn't engage in a back and forth with. And comedian is definitely one of those professions of people. A YouTuber in me sees the angle. Comedy Hype did the video on Corey Holcomb and the people walking out of Corey Holcomb. That's been one of their most successful videos on their channel in recent memory. That's been one of their highest performing videos in a long time. This video in particular talking about people walking out. So yeah, so either way, I think the moral of the story is comedy is subjective, and do not allow your personal feelings to get in the way of business. It's business, never personal. The first priority of Comedy Hype should be celebrating the fact that they've reached a milestone. But instead, the irony is the one person that they despise the most is the one that pushed them to that milestone. They got 1 million subscribers off of the success of the last Corey Holcomb video. So either way, man, it's a mess. I can't get enough of the fact that Corey every week has a new issue with somebody, and it's making for great content. You know what I mean? At this point in the game, let them keep having that. Like, some people are saying, oh, that's all you do is talk about people. You talk about people on the other channel. You talk about people all over the internet. People that are doing better than you. But every week somebody is talking about him. So how can he not have that as a topic of discussion? It would be just avoiding it. It would be avoidance if that was the case. But shout out to Corey for doing it. And even shout out to Comedy Hype. There ain't no hard feelings, but I don't know. Like, I think some people get so caught up in their vision of what the black community needs or what they interpret the black community as needing. I think ultimately John is a fan of comedy like myself, and he's a fan of comedians, but it's just getting lost in translation, you know. But the real issue is that it does seem like every opportunity he gets, he wants to put Corey Holcomb in the crosshairs. He wants to say that Corey Holcomb bombed or Corey Holcomb did this just because they have this issue. Man, this ain't nothing serious. It really ain't. And Corey is here cracking jokes about your sexuality, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to take him up on proving that you are not that or whatever, you know? Whatever floats your boat, man. But when it comes down to it, like, this is something that could have been avoided. But anyway, let me know what you think about it.
And I agree wholeheartedly, my man. I think there's something that could have been avoided, could have been probably discussed via phone call or whatever. But again, how often are you going to poke a sleeping bear before they react to something? In a lot of cases, a lot of stuff that went on with me, I tried to completely avoid. But they kept pushing, they kept pushing, they kept pushing because of my affiliation with someone. And if your ultimate goal was to cost this particular person that you had this eye for, or this particular content creator or not content creator that you had an eye for, instead of coming at me, instead of trying to cause a rift between me and this person, you really had no legs to stand on. Now it might cost you something a little bit more valuable than your so-called guess what I did or look what I did antic. Which leads me right into our main feature of the night. You know, too many times, folks, we hold these so-called content creators to a different standard. We're supposed to overlook the bad shit that they do or the misinformation that they say because they are, dare I say, have more subscribers, or we celebrate them because they have more subscribers than us. That doesn't bode well with me. Just because someone says they have, in Angry Man's case, 500,000 subs, that doesn't mean anything, and I'm going to prove that point to you. I'm going to prove to the point of what I'm speaking of. I'm going to prove the point that Angry Man is not someone that creates content. I'm going to prove that point to you. I most certainly am. How, you ask? Through his own words. Not through something that I said or something that I'm guessing at. Something that came out of his own mouth, folks. Hey, Bomb Cherry.
Hi, Angry Man. Yeah, it's your turn again, nigga.
Yep, it's your turn again, nigga. Tell him one more time.
Hi, Angry Man. Yeah, it's your turn again, nigga.
Yep. It is your turn. Haven't had very much to say to you, but you and Israel Mills been all over the chat rooms. The other day, Bomb did a stream about you and Izzy is or Izzy ain't Mills. And then he was over at Cellulite's podcast talking about how you felt disrespected, how folks hold you in such reverence. Well, folks, again, I never will tell anyone who or who not to support. That's your business. But what I will say is, when I see somebody flagrantly, habitually step in the line of reality, facts, and fantasy, I gotta call it out. And Angry Man, you did it again. And your zest to be so right about a situation, you let yourself walk right into something that the average person may have missed. I didn't. And I'm gonna prove to y'all again through his own words that Angry Man does not believe half the shit that comes out of his mouth. Y'all watch. Let me find it. Again, first, let me play this. Where's it at? Let me play it. Let me play this one more time, so y'all can get the gist of what I'm saying here. Okay? Let me play this one more time. Where's it at? Hold on just a second. Y'all bear with me. This is for you, angry man, first and foremost. I want you to listen to this.
Taggart! Yes, sir? I've decided to launch an attack that will reduce Rock Ridge to ashes.
What do you want me to do, sir?
I want you to round up every vicious criminal and gunslinger in the West. Take this down. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits, vipers, snipers, con men, Indian agents, Mexican bandits, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, hornswagglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, ass kickers, shit kickers, and Methodists!
Could you repeat that, sir?
One more time, angry man.
Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters, always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams, they've got walis, they've got their guardians, and it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. This is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete.
Right. Sudafil, Advil, or something. Because I wish my woman would come to me and say that this loose nigga was telling me how I should dress, or I should not come out the house with this on. Who are you to correct any woman that is not in the company of you, angry man? Along with you other content creators that hold stream after stream after stream. No disrespect, but I had one guy that was telling me that even if a man doesn't do something for his wife, he feels it's his responsibility to. You have no right to. That is that between that man and his woman, whether it's his girlfriend or his wife. And the only reason you have reason to speak on that is if that man chooses to put his wife or his girlfriend's business for public consumption. Like you did at one time before, angry man. Go back to GMT stream. As a matter of fact, there's a stream called it's called a site called Exposing the Manosphere. Y'all go find it. You'll see what I'm talking about. A plethora of shit from back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago of these same guys that's peddling this bullshit again. Regurgitated bullshit from the angry man. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But this time, folks, his double talk, he ran into the wrong person that took the time to listen to what he had to say. Y'all correct me. Here he is. Let's go.
My ass off right then, brought my ass over here, and went back to doing my content. That's what I should have did. I shouldn't have sat up there and went back and forth with you.
And if you don't know, right now he's talking to Israel Mills, Izzy Bands, someone he's called a friend for 30 years.
Shout out to Daniel Jackson Reactions. He said, these small-minded chumps out here trying to save the booty that they're not gonna get. Shout out to Jerome. He said,
That's how he responded to that, folks, with a whistle and a bell. Meaning you are absolutely right. So let me ask you something, whoever just said that. What booty can Angry Man save, or anybody else? Let me just pull out a few of the young ladies. When I go over to Bomb Cherry's chat, I see young ladies over there like ABT. I won't say it how she's got it. I see Candy Cane Lane over there. I see Sean Willie over there from time to time. I see Letitia Lovejoy over there from time to time. I see Brownie Ellie over there from time to time. I see Miss Jalen over there from time to time. I see all different women over there from time to time. I see Nay over there from time to time. I see Sexy Red TV from over there. So let me tell you, when I go and say hello to these women, which part of the booty am I trying to save? By speaking to them. Or if Bomb Cherry is holding a chat, men move in silence, but I'm just saying this but because I do, because it's to prove a point. If I was to super chat or Cash App Bomb some money for holding the stream, that's between me and Bomb. No one else should know that. Now, if Bomb makes it some business to say, thank you for sending me the Cash App or the Super Chat, that's on her. That's on her. So which part of the booty am I saving? Angry Man gave you a big loud horn for that. Which part of the booty am I saving? Which do you folks over there that make these comments think so low of these women that just because saying hi or super chatting them automatically gives you access to the booty?
they do the Jerry Springer type content. Yep. That's what that is. That's what that is. That's what that is. And it's easy to do.
I want y'all to pay close attention to what Angry Man is about to say. I'm going to check him in real time a little bit later on. Pay close attention to what he's about to say when he's talking about everyone does Jerry Springer content. Listen to what he says now.
It's easy to do. You feel what I'm saying? But you want to know what's so interesting? I'm going to break something down for y'all. Shout out to Bishop J. Jermaine. He said, I've been in these spaces for over 12 years, and I know who are in the beef sector and who is not. Facts. Here's the thing. Whenever I fall into that and I do the Jerry Springer type content, because I've done it before, I don't get a boost in views. I get a reduction in views.
Okay, he says right there now. I want y'all to go back and hear this. He says he doesn't get a boost in views. He gets a reduction in views. Listen.
Here's the thing. Whenever I fall into that and I do the Jerry Springer type content, because I've done it before, I don't get a boost in views. I get a reduction in views. You know why? Because people are used to me putting out original quality content. People are used to me putting out stuff like coming up with a concept like the triple imposter and then breaking that shit down academically.
Okay. How do you break down a concept academically, folks? Just for shits and giggles. Hey Google, define academically.
Here's the definition of academically in a way that relates to education and scholarship.
So which part of this is what he's about to tell us as he's breaking down academically, folks? Which part of what Angry Man is about to tell y'all should be of any academic study? But that's what he just told you. He does not do the Jerry Springer content. Do y'all need to hear it again? I do.
People are used to me putting out original quality content.
People are used to him putting out original quality content.
People are used to me putting out stuff like coming up with a concept like the triple imposter.
People are used to him coming up with a concept like the triple imposter. Have y'all seen the triple imposter? Have y'all listened to that stream? So far, from when I did this recording, or when I looked at it was about 2 days ago, it had about 14,000, almost 15,000 views. I'm gonna prove that to be incorrect as well.
And then breaking that shit down academically, right? People are used to me coming up with the breakdown of how the male hierarchy works and then correlating it with the characters from The Wire.
He said, let's go back again.
People are used to me coming up with the breakdown of how the male hierarchy works and then correlating it with the characters from The Wire.
So he's going to correlate the male hierarchy as it correlates to a fictional setting, a jailhouse fictional setting, how it correlates to real life. Which part of that advice are you folks going to take? The male hierarchy as it correlates to The Wire is what he's about to academically break down for y'all. A fictional show on television. He's going to try now relate this to you as in real life. That's what he just told you. And you got some folks over there super chatting and telling them Angry Man cooking right now. Angry Man has no idea of what he's talking about. How do you correlate the patriarchy, the male hierarchy, to a jail setting? There's some folks that rise and shine and sleep and shit at the command of someone else. How?
Like niggas is used to me doing some original shit that is thought provoking and makes you look at the world different. So when I do the Jerry Springer type shit, it's a step down from my normal content.
Okay, you heard him say when he does the Jerry Springer type content, it's a step down from what he normally does. Okay, Angry Man, I'll ask you, what do you normally do? What content that you have that is of some educational value that you can hang your hat on, Angry Man? What are you doing? What concept, what new idea or what educational value do you bring to a stream? You say you don't talk about women, but folks, I implore you to go over to Angry Man's stream right now and look at his last 10 videos, and you tell me who's the beta male.
Now, this is what I'm going to say to y'all, and this is not me trying to judge. This is me trying to give you some advice. You can take it.
Now, I want y'all to listen to this advice that he's about to give you, because he's just about to contradict. He's about to shoot his own self in the foot. Earlier, you heard him say he does not do the Jerry Springer content. That is beneath him. Now he's about to give some advice to all you other content creators about what you should not do and how you should measure yourself up towards someone, realizing that he's about to shit on his own self. He'll catch himself, and you'll see what I'm saying, but he will catch himself.
The way you want to take it.
Listen.
If your highest ranking content is Jerry Springer type content, you got to reevaluate the way you content create. If your highest viewed content is Jerry Springer content, you have to reevaluate how you content create.
Now again, even the sun shine on a dog ass if he hold it up right. So with that, Angry Man, I will absolutely agree with you. But do you realize you just shot your own self in the foot? Because your content is of Jerry Springer-esque content. It is a gossip column. You have done celebrity news. You have done, street conservative. You have done all these things that what you are actually reacting to is something that's already been done. There's no content that you have created on your own. So in essence, you are a gossip columnist. In some cases, you may not be to the extreme of a Jerry Springer show, but a lot of times you are. Prime example of it was just what you were showing the other night when you was talking about Izzy Bands. That was Jerry Springer all over. But let's go.
Yeah. Because trust and believe, there's some people that do the Jerry Springer content, but guess what? You know how you know if you're good at the Jerry Springer content? Press 1 if you want to know how you're good.
Y'all listen to this. This is when he's about to shit on himself. And then you'll see, I'll point out when he realizes that he shit on himself. Listen to how he says that you should change up what you're doing if you are doing the Jerry Springer type content. Listen who he invokes as someone that you should aspire to be like if you plan on doing the Jerry Springer type content that he says that he doesn't do.
You're really good at the Jerry Springer content. You'd be Tasha K. You'd be Tasha K. You'd be Fresh and Fit. Yeah.
Why would he bring up Fresh and Fit? With all the turmoil that's going over there, without women on his platform, Myron and that other cat have nothing to offer. If it's not for the women, they would have nothing to offer. Myron is a scam artist. But because Angry Man agreed with some of the stuff that Myron said, he's always trying to invoke Fresh and Fit because why? Sub count. He thinks that Myron or one of them guys from over there is going to hear what he said and they're going to big up Angry Man. Yeah, Angry Man mentioned this. But if you go back a number of years ago, those same folks that he's big upping, he tried to manufacture beef with when they said, yeah, Angry Man, who is the Angry Man? Why is he always angry? Go back and look for yourself, folks. Now, all of a sudden, he's friends with Fresh and Fit. When before, because he didn't get an invitation, Fresh and Fit was full of shit. Remember that, Angry Man? The internet is forever.
In other words, if you're doing the Jerry Springer type content where you're trying to get into the controversy, if you're not getting those type of numbers doing that, if you're not growing in that, you don't have to be there right now, but if you're not moving up in that trajectory, that's not your lane.
This is when he realizes, folks, that he's talking about himself because that's all he does. Now listen, to solidify the point of what I'm about to say, he's about to tell you that, remember, he said earlier that when he does the Jerry Springer type content, he don't get a boost in views from that. But listen to him say just the opposite no more than 5 minutes later. Listen.
You haven't figured out what it is that you're really good at yet. Because one thing I learned about YouTube, once you figure out what it is you're really good at, you'll know it because your channel will explode. It'll go through the roof. You feel me? So if that's just like with me. If I try to do anime content, my numbers don't really do like they should. If I try to do movie reviews, my numbers don't really do what they.
Okay, he says if he tried to do anime content. So we don't see Angry Man doing anime content, do we? He tried the Drip Lounge. That didn't work for him. He tried Money Mondays. That didn't work for him. The list goes on of shit that Angry Man has tried that has not worked for him. He tried movie reviews. That didn't work for him. He tried celebrity gossip. That didn't work for him. The only thing that Angry Man is good at, and he's about to tell you, let him tell you for himself, because first he told you he does not get a boost. But here within the next 10 to 15 to 20 seconds, he's going to say just the opposite. Listen.
They do. When I talk about stuff like this, when I talk about the stuff I normally talk about, you know what I'm saying? I get, you'll know it because your channel will explode. It'll go through the roof. You feel me? So if that's just like with me. If I try to do anime content, my numbers don't really do like they should. If I try to do movie reviews, my numbers don't really do what they do. When I talk about stuff like this, when I talk about the stuff I normally talk about, you know what I'm saying? I get,
out of his own mouth, folks. Do y'all need to hear it again? Let me play it one more time. So folks can't go back and say, well, no, Angry Man didn't say that. Listen.
So if that's just like with me. If I try to do anime content, my numbers don't really do.
If he tries to do anime content or movie review content, his numbers don't really do that well. But what he does, the Jerry Springer type content, what happens, Angry Man?
Like they should. If I try to do movie reviews, my numbers don't really do what they do. When I talk about stuff like this, when I talk about the stuff I normally talk about,
the stuff that he normally talks about, gossip, talking about someone else, that's when his channel, that's when his views go up. But he just told you earlier that he don't dwell in the Jerry Springer type gossip.
About, you know what I'm saying? I get, significant views or whatever, right?
He gets significant views or whatever, right? So he realizes that he was double talking. Now, a lot of folks in this chat room will tell you or won't even mention that, wait a minute, that don't make sense what you said. If you get more views by doing content like this or content that you normally do, why would you even worry about doing anime or movie reviews? Angry Man, can you answer that question? There's absolutely no way. Let me give you some music, Angry Man. There's absolutely no way, my friend, that you are marketable. That's number one. That's why you don't have any sponsorships. Your content is not on the level of a Tasha K. It never will be. Your content is not on the level of a Tanya TKO. It will not be. Your content is not on the level of a Jason Black. Your content is not on the level of pocket watching or whatever guy. There's so many different content creators out there that are on the level. Your content is not even on the level of a Cynthia G, because even though Cynthia G is banned from YouTube, if she decides to do a stream, guarantee it the folks in there are actually talking. They're actually having some kind of dialogue, whether they agree or disagree with Cynthia G. But with you, Angry Man, this stream that you're talking about, that you were talking about, what's that? I forgot what it was. 14,000, almost 15,000 views, and only 2 people left a comment in your comment section. But you got folks over there that'll say that Angry Man has over 750,000 subs. That means no difference, folks. Just because I have about 1,300 subs now from last check. So if I get 13 people watching my show, that's pretty good. If I get 30 people watching my show, that's pretty good. If I get 100 people watching my show, that's getting almost damn near great. If I get 200 people watching my show, that's damn near great. But Angry Man, with 750,000 subscribers, to have 800 people in your chat room is like me having 2. And I'll show you in a little while exactly what I mean. Folks, if you have not used vidIQ, big shout out to who you are. You know who you are. You introduced it to me. Thank you very much. Again, that's another subject. But again, I really do appreciate the legacy that you know. But again, if you have not used vidIQ, if you plan to be serious about this YouTube content creator, it does a lot more than just monitor what you do on YouTube. There's a free version, there's a paid version. I suggest that you try out the free version first, see what it can and can't do for you. And then if you like it, then go for the paid version. Okay? vidIQ. Tell them DJ Music sent you.
But like I said, that's just my advice. That's just my advice. Y'all can take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you want to do at the end of the day. It is what it is. But
I want you folks to look at this right here. Okay, let me pause this. This is the stream that he's talking about, that he was so prolific at, that folks was clamoring to watch. Okay, that he was putting it down, that he was cooking, that he was breaking down the analytical, he was being educational, he was doing all those great things. Now let's look at this. Let me make it a little bigger so I can see here. Okay, as you can see, folks, when I took a screenshot of this, he had 14,000, almost 15,000 views. Like I mentioned, vidIQ, it showed this track from when he started to where he finished at. Notice the rise, the quick rise in the view count. Y'all notice that? Notice his subscriber count. Y'all notice that? Notice I'm not subscribed to him. Okay? Y'all notice that? Let's go. Now, where we gonna move here is vidIQ again. This thing is like if you're in business, you always want to know what your competitors are doing. And for some reason or the other, I guess because I do podcasts or whatever, they identify Angry Man as a competitor of mine. Not me, but vidIQ. Any one of you folks that does podcasts, they will tell me, say if I go over to Bomb Cherry stream, they'll tell me a lot about what her stream is doing. And that is just the nature of business. I'm not in competition with Bomb, but just in case I was, as a person that's in business, I would want to know what my competitors are doing. And that's what this vidIQ is doing. So let's continue. It's going to give you a little bit of shocking information about Angry Man that I hear you folks trying to big him up all the time, talking about his sub count and all this other stuff. I'm trying to show you folks that shit is not real. Let's continue here. It'll show up here in just a little bit. Okay. Again, vidIQ. Okay. Okay. Now, next thing I want to talk about. Hold it right there. Let me pause it right there. You saw how many views this thing had. This particular vid had. Almost 15,000 views. What did that say right there? His rank. Okay. But notice in the comment section, 14, almost 15,000 views, folks. And you only had 2 people. Not ones with something with their icon, with their name or something. The letter J and the letter S. Click on, go over to that particular stream that he has in private. Click on to and go to that channel and tell me what you see. No content for either one. No mention that they follow Angry Man. Nothing. No content. Nothing about them says that this is a real person. But y'all will tell me that Angry Man is a force to be reckoned with in the YouTube streets. I beg to differ. Look for yourself, folks. Go in and find these 2 names that I'm pointing out that's in that yellow circle and go tell me whether I'm lying. At this point in time, when Angry Man was doing this video, folks, he was in the 66th percentile when he was doing this video. Now, let's pause it right here. Hold on just a second. Okay. Wait. What happened here? Okay, let me minimize that for a minute. Let me pause that, folks. Let me put that back up on the screen. Okay. I don't know how it ended up over there, but I ended up somewhere over here. But as you can see, folks, look at his engagement count right there. That counts. That makes a difference. 4.1. You have got over 770,000 subscribers, and your engagement is only 4.1. That engagement means the folks that follow you, only 4.1%, not even 5% of the folks that follow you watch this video. Y'all don't find that strange? Y'all don't find that weird? I know I do. I find it strange. Let me change this out here. All right. Go back to it. There we go. I need to make the screen smaller so I can see what I'm doing. The cat out the bag. So I can see what I'm doing here. All right. Y'all hold on just a second. Let me play some music while I figure this out here. All right. I don't know why it popped out on another window. But I didn't want it to. But let me play some music. I'll be right back. There we go. I got it now. I had to go figure that out, folks. But anyway, y'all saw what I was talking about there with Angry Man. Does any of this make sense? Let me go back to what I'm doing now. Does any of this make sense to y'all? Does any of it make sense? I implore you.
You feel me? And then you got niggas.
Go back and look. Let me show you this again, folks. Let me show you this one more time. Okay? Look at this. This guy is telling me that he has all these subs, and his engagement is what? Let's go until we get to his engagements. Okay? Again, vidIQ. If you want to know what the next content creator is doing, if you want to see the up and coming trends of what you should and shouldn't want to talk about, then I would suggest you get vidIQ. Does a lot more. Does a lot more. Then just allow you to see what your competitors are doing. Okay? Let me pause that right there. All right, folks. Again, his engagement, 4.1. I didn't make that up. That is standard. This is what vidIQ does. Any channel that I go on, whether it be Angry Man's channel or whether it be CBS News, NBC News, any channel that I go on to, this summation will pop up on the sidebar. They'll tell me how good that channel's doing. They'll tell me how much engagement that channel is doing. Why? Because I am now, dare I say, monetized. $770,000, 14.7K folks had supposedly watched this video. Less than 5% of your subscribers engaged in this video. That's not me saying that, but if you notice this quick spike here, folks, what's that telling you? So you mean all them folks was watching this at the same time? You're not live anymore. This goes from you from there to there. Okay? Let me shrink this down a little bit more. Hold on just a second. I had to widen it so I could see what I was doing. What you got to say now, Angry Man? Am I wrong, folks? No, I'm not.
You feel me?
What?
And then you got niggas that want to jump up on the damn panel and you know, want to let the cape drape for hoes. That's the other thing that's bugging me out. Why is niggas so adamant about defending the worst? Because I don't even think they realize that. I don't even think they realize that, right? And then, you know, I go over to my man Will's show, right? When I go over to my man's Will's show, we over there chopping it up, having a decent conversation. Everybody's conversing normally or whatever. And here comes Smitty with his red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish, knick-knack, paddywhack. You feel me? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee-face ass nigga. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear none of that stuff you talking about, broski. None of it. Always cross in the green and never in between. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, bro. And for you to sit there.
So correct me if I'm wrong then. I thought you did content of substance, Angry Man. I thought that's what you did. I don't know the brother that's in question, but I know that during the course of the conversation that he had with you, he was telling you it's not very masculine for you guys to sit over here and always complain about women. I know that's what he was saying. So a matter of fact, I'm sure that's what he was saying. That's what you said. Don't nobody want to hear that conscious white knight cape and shit. That's what you was on Izzy about too, right? Because didn't Izzy say that he stick up for the black women? Now, Sel, brother, my man, much respect to you when I say this. Brother, sometimes you can hit your wagon to the wrong horse. Sometimes you can believe that someone has your best interest at heart. Take it from a real OG, my brother. Angry Man does not have your best interest at heart. He has not now, or will he ever. Ask Auntie. I know he's not a friend of yours. Ask Obsidian. I know you don't hang around Obsidian. Ask O'Shea Dukes Jackson. Ask Grinch. Ask BGS. Ask what's his name? Cerulean Gray. Go through the archives. Ask Big J Triple X. Go through the archives of Angry Man and his history. Of once he can't get anything else with you. Ask DS1. Ask the Crimson Cure. Hell, as a matter of fact, no disrespect, but you can ask your woman. Once he sees no more value in what you're doing, or you start to outshine him like Izzy Bands does from time to time, he don't like that. So he tries to check you. He tries to put you back in your place. He came over to Sharon's Braces panel with that. Whether you agree with Sharon and what he talks about or what he doesn't talk about, the fact of the matter is that he was right about the Angry Man, and I told him so. Watch this guy. Was I wrong, Sharon?
And try to be like, well, everybody into that over the top, blah, blah, blah. You ain't everybody's cup of tea, Angry Man. I'm better at this shit than you are. Remember how you said you ain't everybody's cup of tea? And then you was like, that's a fact. Guess what, my nigga? I'm better at this shit than you are. That's a fact. And before you say, I only been here 2 years, nigga, you could be here 20 years. I'm still gonna be better at this shit than you, nigga.
Well, excuse me, the Angry Man, but the numbers right there say different. You're no better at content creating, dare I say, than me. If I was to go pull up my numbers according to the amount of subscribers I got, I'm doing pretty damn good. Some of my highest views have not been from fuckery. They have been from me posting music like you try to do. And I'll be so glad of the day that YouTube stops guys like you from just playing music, because the folks that's supposed to receive royalties for that get nothing from it. You have no license to broadcast music, and I don't understand why YouTube allows you to get away with that. I have a license to broadcast music, and I still don't get away with it like you do. I still get shut down. I still get my streams muted. I still, as now, this stream here probably won't be monetized because of the background track that I'm using. But I'm not here to be monetized. If I do or I don't, I'm going to continue to do the same thing that I was doing 5 years ago, 6 years ago, putting out content that I think that makes a difference. And if only 1, 2, 15, 20 people watch it, that's fine. I would much have those 20 people watching the content that I put out than the 750 bots that you got over there. vidIQ is not going to lie to me. They're not going to put your numbers up and compare them against mine just to make me feel good. It might even show me shit. You need to step it up. But the numbers speak for themselves. You're not as good at this as you claim to be.
My name was ringing bells when I was 1 year into this shit. My name was ringing bells the entire time I've been in this shit, bro.
No.
So for you to say I only been here 2 years, like 2 years? 2 years, my nigga. 2 years? By the end of my second year, nigga, I was at 20K.
It's always that subscriber count that you folks love to throw up in people's faces. Oh, because you don't have 20K subscribers, you cannot be possibly. There's no way that you could have anything to say. There's no way that you could be possibly relevant in the YouTube streets if you ain't got 20K. So again, Angry Man, what part of your content should I go to look for something of substance? Which part of the gossip column that you talked about should I go back? Just the Will and Jada content? Was it the Dr. Umar content? Was it the Tasha K content? Was it the Kevin Samuels? And Kevin said, and Kevin said, and Kevin said. Was it how the Grinch stole Christmas from you? Or was it how GMT doxed you? Or was it how you pulled out brandished a weapon on Big J?
Like real talk.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Like I'm like, nigga, real talk. Don't try to call me to the carpet about my damn character. Because you want to use that to try to win an argument. As far as my character, I'm solid in real life. I'm solid in real life. That ain't convenient. Because you fuck problematic women. The reason you fuck problematic women is because problematic women give up the box easy. So when they giving up the box and you smashing, it's all good. It ain't until them being problematic don't benefit you that now you want to complain about the women being problematic. All y'all niggas do that shit.
And you don't?
When I get up here and complain about problematic women, I complain about problematic women because I got 3 sons. I complain about problematic women because I want to see our people do better.
Okay, Angry Man, no disrespect, but since you mentioned your sons, I understand that one of your sons has a budding rap career. Have you ever featured any of your son's music on your platform? One bar? One video? Can you go on to any of your platforms and see some of your son's music or some of his videos if he put any out? If you can't, miss me with that argument that you're about to try and present, okay?
I don't complain about problematic women because I'm dealing with a problematic woman because I'm not.
You gotta be. It's gotta be problematic for your woman to know that you are sitting in a room smoking cigars from sun up to sundown, that you go from stream to stream, come back to your stream all hours of the morning. That has got to be problematic for a woman, any woman, Not just your woman, angry man, any woman that calls herself in a relationship with someone that spends more time on a live YouTube stream that they do taking care of their own house. And you might say, no, I'm not always on YouTube. Prove me different. If you're not on YouTube, you're doing a upload to YouTube. So what do you just this shit just materially pop up? All you do is just twink your nose or something, and your next upload mysteriously appear. You don't have to record it. You don't have to edit it. You just twink your nose and it pops up. So say you live for 5 hours, and then right after your live stream, you got to upload something to this stream, that stream. That's at least 6-7 hours a day, folks, that you're not spending around your family or tending to your woman's needs. And you're trying to tell me that's not problematic? Shit if it ain't.
I'm not with a problematic woman. But a lot of you niggas be complaining about problematic women because you still deal with problematic women. And that's why you straddle that fence. You don't want to, you.
That nigga. Beat him. It's time to beat him, girl. For real. You beat him or you leave him. One or the fucking other.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
I said your name is Toby. Kunta Kinte.
That's the new trend. That's the new trend. The new trend is there are numerous women, not Latin women, not Asian women, not white women. There are numerous black women that are doing videos where they are promoting that they should fight their men. More specifically,
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay,
That's the new trend. It's shocking. It's amazing because there's absolutely no way a man would be able to get on the internet and say that he's going to do that to a woman and not lose, not get flagged and not get canceled or anything.
You're absolutely right, angry man. A man would not get on a platform, any platform, public or private, and say the things that you folks say. Like Kevin Samuels talking about domestic discipline. You agreed with that concept, remember? You, Obsidian, a whole lot of you niggas, BGS, a whole lot of y'all agreed with that concept of domestic discipline. You even said on several occasions, I can understand why a man would chin check his woman. But now that as you said, the tables have turned, that a woman is saying, I wish a nigga would. And if he do, don't cower down, beat his ass. All of a sudden, it's a new trend. Let's go, y'all. I got something else coming up. Let's go. Let him keep talking.
Hear that, right?
I seen this post that said, you ever met a nigga that you knew not to put your hands on? Bitch, no. Never actually beat them all.
That's the new trend. Beat them all.
And he goes,
that's the new trend.
Of
Beat
all
'em
the
all.
things, wait a minute, of all the things that he could go find, he go finds one or two obscure women that agree with the fact, whether she's joking or not, that says beat them all. But this is the content that he says that he does not dwell in, folks.
Beat them all. And look, I got countless. I've come across. I didn't save all of them because the first time I saw the video, coming across videos with women saying this, and I'm like, you know what? This is starting to make sense. This is starting to make sense, right? Shout out to Anthony. He said 2 times speed catching up for the plate. Appreciate you. Shout out to Billy Nico. He said, you think Kendrick could redeem himself for the hate he projected? If so, how? No, I don't. Shout out to Jerome. He said Bondi and Patel are scared of the the mainstream media narrative they have against them. Right. So I'm sitting there pondering.
Y'all notice there was a couple newsworthy articles. He was talking about this what's the lady, that the press secretary, and Patel. It was talking about shit that they had done that folks are now turning against him. But instead, what does he do? He glosses completely over that. But I guess he don't live in the realm of the Jerry Springer content, right?
Pontificating about this new phenomenon. And I think I've said this before, but now, like, it's really, I said it before, but now it's really stuck in my brain, right? I finally figured out why the triple imposter is training the men to be so docile. So when you look at the community, the men are taught that the weakest thing you can do as a man is to put your hands on a woman, right? That's considered, in our community, that's considered the weakest thing you can
I knew
ever
it was
do.
coming. I knew it was coming. It's exactly what that's why I opened up with. You call yourself an alpha male, you are a beta male, because only beta males would try to rationale this. Only beta males would say, "Well, I don't condone hitting a female, but I understand." And if I'll be damned, I bet you before this is over, you will hear angry men say just that. I think everyone should keep them hands to themselves. He'll say something like that. Watch and see what I'm saying.
Don't put your hands on no woman. And we take that so far that we act like a man doesn't even have a right to defend himself if he's attacked by a woman. That's how far we take it in the black community, right?
That's some bullshit. And that is some absolute bullshit. What man in his right mind would not stop a would-be attacker? I don't care if it's woman or man. If somebody coming at you with a gun or with a knife, you're going to see whether she or he is really going to stab you first, or you're going to take drastic measures to make sure that you don't get stabbed. Again, he used the word pontificate. And again, folks use words that they don't understand. Hey, Google, what does it mean to pontificate?
Here's the definition of pontificate. Express one's opinions in a pompous and dogmatic way.
to express one's opinions in a pompous or dogmatic way. He was pontificating about art and history, seminence, hold forth, expound, declaim, preach, lay down the law, express one's opinion, sound off, spot off, dogmatize, sermonize, moralize, pronounce, lecture. Which one of those is Angry Man pontificating? Folks always want to use words that they don't know what the fuck they mean.
As if the men in the black community, are so built forward tough like the juggernaut that anything a woman do to you physically is not going to harm you, right? This ridiculous notion, right? Not to mention the fact that there is no society that anybody lives in where you should condone anybody having the green light to put their hands on somebody else without any consequence.
I told you.
I don't care if you male or female. Nobody should think in their mind that I can physically attack someone and it's cool. There's going to be no consequences. That's just not a civilized world, right? But it's that way in the black community.
So now you know why he used the word pontificate. Hold on just a second.
Dr. Rick dropping it. Look, we have.
All right, Angry Man, here's in direct contrast of what you were just saying. I wanted to close out the show with these little tidbits there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, sorry about the phone call, but folks be calling you all times at night and shit. Hold on just a second.
I've definitely got to do better. I know you guys are tired of hearing me say this, but we are 3-4 days into Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I know they got a month and a day for everything, but this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The second leading cause of death among black women is intimate partner.
The second leading cause of death among black women is inter-partner relationships, usually at the hands of a black man, Angry Man. So the few instances that you pull up of black men or black women slapping around a black man pales in comparison to the women that go through this shit every day. Folks, if y'all notice something, look at the amount of views that he got. Not very many. 187 views. Now I'm going to show you the difference of what someone says something that folks will ignore. They will call him a simp because he's saying this. But because a palm colored person says it, look at the amount of views that person gets. We'll continue.
We are 4 days in and I've already have 2 cases sitting on my desk of black women being murdered by their exes. We need to confront this. We need to be real about it. We need to talk about it. We need to deal with it. We need to stop pretending it doesn't exist. We need to stop finger pointing and blaming and confront this issue. This is my challenge. It's time for us to get to it.
Coalition of Domestic Violence, look it up for yourself. 4 out of 10 women of any ethnic group that has dated a black man has reported domestic violence. Let them go to other countries and deal with them sisters, and let us start swirling. Black men they're walking time bombs. Her mother's killer justify murdering her mother.
We were supposed to be dating. We were still dating until this plumber guy came along. Okay.
I mean, you don't know what's going to make these sets go off.
Taylor McFadden Robinson was shot and killed in her home. Her husband, Duncan Robinson, has been charged in her death.
They won't marry, they won't take care of their kids, they kill you, and they beat you. On domestic violence and coercive control on one of my cases, and it's been really good because...
Now, I want y'all to look at amount of views. Angry Man, that's just a couple, just like you. I went and found examples of women talking about other women being unalived by either the husband or their ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. But you decided to go find some videos of a few women smiling, laughing, jokingly, saying beat 'em. And under the guise, like my man said at the beginning, under the guise of protection. You don't really care about protecting these women. Because if you did, you would have went and found this stat like I did.
This case is crazy, like the level of abuse is pretty high, but it's not physical violence. And based on my experience in Arizona Family Court, if it's not physical violence, judges don't really take a look at it. Hi, I'm Billy Tarasio, Arizona Family Law Attorney and owner of Modern Law. Here's what I've come to realize and learn. So in Arizona, the statute says if there's significant domestic violence, there's a presumption against joint legal decision-making or sole legal decision-making to the person is violent. In working on this case, what I've learned is that there's a difference between situational couple violence, somebody throwing something at somebody else, or a moment where both people push each other. So what I've learned is that significant domestic violence comes from the perpetual controlling, dominating pattern. And if there's a perpetual pattern of domination and control, that is when you've got significant domestic violence. So I'm working with an expert witness. She follows
And that's Angry Man, something that if you said that you were not of Jerry Springer content, that would be something that you would be talking about. Now, before we go, you heard one side of the people that get abused. Now, let's listen to some of the people that do the abusing and see if any of them take, even while they're in jail, take accountability for what they've done.
Many things. One of them is domestic violence.
Jackie regularly comes here to San Bruno Jail to confront perpetrators of domestic violence face to face. She works with Resolve to Stop the Violence, the first program in the country to work with incarcerated men to confront their history of domestic abuse through restorative justice.
One of the things that I'm stricken by is I look around and I see an absolute melting pot. And I can't think of an issue that is more transcending in cultures than domestic violence.
The first step usually was the verbal coercion, the threat. Very quickly after, it would be a backhand or a slap. We call it chin checking, right? Just whap, whap. And it escalates from there.
Jimmy Espinoza spent much of his life abusing women before going through RSVP. He's now a facilitator for the program.
Once I can objectify a woman and then put a hand to her and gain that, see, I told you, then the ass whoopings would escalate, right, to full out beatings.
Then the ass whoopings. Once I get you in control, once I tell you that I'm going to do something, or you do something that I don't like, I'm going to start with a few backhands. After a while, the backhands will escalate to full-blown ass whippings. But Angry Man told y'all earlier in other streams that he can understand why some men, chin check, very same words that he used, a convicted domestic violence abuser. Tells you exactly how it starts and why it starts and how long it lasts until Y'all remember the show, The Burning Bed? How a woman got so tired of her abuser that she literally waited till he got pissy drunk, set the bed on fire. But although she went through all of that pain and suffering, they still decided to charge her until laws were changed. Because of that one case in 1970 something, domestic women or men that are domestic survivors won't be seen as criminals anymore from years and years of abuse. This lady, I'm talking about the burning bed, 13, 14, 15 years of physical and verbal abuse, all starting out with a hand slap, angry man. Ended up with her teeth knocked out, and finally she had enough, loaded up her kids, wait till the husband got pissy drunk, set the bed on fire with him in it. But that's what you folks are teaching over there in the YouTube streets. That's what you folks are telling these young men that they should go be like or do. The men are over here, angry man.
Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters, always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams, they've got walis, they've got their guardians, and it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. This is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete here.
You don't understand.